After two grueling days that saw the field begin at 132, we have cut down to 60. And at long last, the storm clouds and the heavy rain have finally cleared out above the Rainbow Hills Country Club. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Moving Day, the third round of a major championship, the DB Group 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. We are playing for 1.2 billion won in the group. If you were to be joining us on the Korean side of the broadcast, well, our lovely colleagues would be getting you set for the action. I'm not going to do a direct translation, pardon me. I'm not quite at that level, but what I can do is give you similar information to our peers there. 1.2 billion won in the purse. 300 million of that will go to our champion, of which 219,000 US dollars, when you do the conversion, 191,000 euro or 162,000 British pounds is set aside for the champion. And now that we have officially cut down to 60, we can tell you that the runner-up will receive 120 million and P3 will receive 75. Also, a few things we can tell you is that, well, you saw the weather. It is absolutely marvelous. We can also tell you that Kim Si-hyun, who started the day in the lead and sharing the lead with Yoo Hyun-jo, is the outright leader as she nears the 50% mark of her third round. We are playing the South Course on the way out, which means we're not going to see a whole lot of it. Our focus will be firmly fixated on the East Course. It begins with a par 5 10th, followed by the first par 3 of the back nine, 4 par 4s in a row, and then 5, 3, 4 on the way in. And of course, everyone is jockeying for position to put themselves in the best position possible heading into tomorrow's final round. What else do you need to know as we gear up for 2.5 to 3 hours of the KLPGA Tour's very best? The weather is sunny, a few clouds in the sky. The pin placements, well, they're not going to get a whole lot easier. Maybe not necessarily on the level of Oakmont for the US Open, which is also happening simultaneously, but the tournament officials are ensuring that the leader is well and truly deserving. That is Hung Yoo-min, who at last check is at 7 under. Consecutive rounds of 69. She is 2 strokes off the top. Kim Soo-ji is up 5 positions after just squeaking by with a 71 and 70. In the first 2 rounds, she is on track for a 69, but the way she is striking the ball would lead us to believe that she might be able to go even lower today. Our leader, Kim Si-hyun. Something of a quiet opener for her as well with a 70, but yesterday an unbelievable 66. She isn't quite able to make it a 34 at the turn. Despite having a very good read of that putt, she will settle for a par. Park Ji-young, after the tee shot at 10, finds herself just off the fairway to the left, not in too bad of a lie in the fairway. 269 as she prepares her second shot. .70, 69, and so far today 1 under. That is 3 off the top spot. Yoo Hyun-jo, the sophomore, last year's Rookie of the Year, is at even. Could retake a share of the advantage with the birdie. It's a close call, but it's not to be. And she was even by virtue of 9 straight pars to begin the round. Well, we have 2 tie players in the field this week. This is Patrijutar Konkrafan, who is tied for 8th, teeing off at the 11th, and it's a decent effort to get up onto the green. Now it is Dee Dongun's second, 263 from the fairway. She is 6 strokes to the good. Trying to find the end of the fairway. She is just slightly left. I'll tell you, the course was not in the best of shape by the end of the night yesterday with all of that rain. The tournament officials made the decision to push everyone back by an hour, just to let the sun come up, dry the course out a little bit, and with some incredible work from the grounds crew, this Rainbow Hills Country Club is playing incredibly well, and has done so since we got this thing underway a few hours ago. Kim Soo-ji is next after that putt for par. Her effort for birdie is 11.7. Most of the way there, even with a little more speed, she would have been just a hair to the left. Already with 5 birdies today, a couple of bogeys on the par 3s, though she has not played them particularly well. She is a 3-time major champion, no title to her name yet in 2025. And this is moving online at the end. Konkrafan with her 3rd birdie through 11 holes and moves into a tie for 7th position. Eugenia will be next at 10. She is even, or had been even. Really nice bit of x-ray vision to find the perfect line and stays on top of it. And yes, it is so hot today that the fans are out. Speaking of fans, the supporters, now that they know that they can come here and not get drenched to the bone, and the fact that it is the weekend, seeing more and more appear here at Rainbow Hills. Kim Ji-hyun and company. They have the green light to begin the back 9. Mentioned earlier in the week, she is a 2006 born athlete. And she is up here competing for her first major championship as a teenager. And doing really well to build off of a runner-up finish last week. Park Ji-young, who is also a 2-time major champion and who is also looking for her first win of the season. She has already had a runner-up finish, and that was at the last major championship. Tee shot takes her all the way to the back of the green. Joe will fire off next. Deciding driver wasn't for her. Taking last club with the wood. Will just trickle into the rough. Well, speaking of rough, that's where we find Lee Dong-un after her second. Only 94 meters to go. The pin today is 11 yards from the back, or 11 meters, pardon me, from the back of the green and 5 yards from the left side. Fairly calm wind as well. She can certainly work with that. Last to begin was Hung Yu-Min. She's got the best drive. It's the straightest in the fairway, and it's also the longest. It's a good start for her. Really well done. Down onto the green and cushioned. The sun keeps it up. In about 24 hours, that would rocket off to the other side of the green, but as it's good and soft, that is a very makeable birdie putt from that distance. Good distance from the back of the green. Pak Ji-young gets it to tap in distance for the par. Tee shot that misses left to the hillside. Going to roll all the way back down to the fairway. Another decent start on the par 3. We'll go to number 10, Pak So-jin, our low amateur. 4 under. She's +1 today, looking to get back to even. A little left to right breaking putt. Bring us to Hung Yu-Min here at the par 5 10, 254. Starting left, hoping for a little fade, and she gets it just in the nick of time to stay in the fairway. Lee Dong-eun's bid for a birdie is next. Hoping that her first will lead to some momentum. This has a good shot. Knocks back on her heels, willing the ball to stay straight, and it does just that. Birdie's at 7 and 10 now, and she does, in fact, go to 7 under par. That's where Kim Soo-ji would like to be, and it's where she would reach if her time on 11 is short-lived and needs just 1 putt. Slight downhill to start. Looks a little left to right maybe at the beginning, but on the whole, one of the straighter lies she'll face today. Just a bit more break than maybe she had anticipated. It's a tap in par. And now Yu-Hyun Jo. We've seen her be very, very effective attacking flags. Might have been in between clubs there and ends up fairly deep on this green. And now our tied challenger at 4 under, fresh off a birdie. Maybe the opposite problem in that the depth was good, the direction shifted over to the right. Very similar position for Kim Shi-hyun, just left of the fairway, playing from the rough, attacking the green, and also scooting down. Tougher pin placement today on the left side with the slope and with the green just in front of the hole in its defense. Humane with the excellent approach shot ends up closest to the flag after all the members of the group. Yuji now looking at a short bird here, downhill right to left, and no problem for her. Tied for 5th now with back-to-back birdies. If not for an early round double, she would be just 1 back of the lead. So we take this opportunity to reset the fields and show you how things look. Kim Shi-hyun, a 1-stroke advantage from Yoo Hyun-jo, still even after 9 holes. Lee Dong-eun and Hung Yoo-min both 1 under, both at 7 under for the event. Kim Soo-ji is on pace for a 3 under today, as is, and maybe as are Lee Ga-young and Chung Yoon-ji on page 2 of the leaderboard. This is the 3rd round of the DB Group 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. We are live from Rainbow Hills. We'll be right back after a short break. And welcome back to Msangun. Coverage of the third round of the second major championship of the season resumes. Always going to be a tricky putt on hole number 10. It's not the situation you want to be in, I suppose. If you were to be playing on the par 3, it means your tee shot wasn't the best, and I don't think it's unfair to say that that probably counts. In that category for Kim Soo-ji. Second effort, Kim Shi-hyun also slightly off. To get her there for the par as we go back to 12. Conquer Fan. From us, it'll look right to left, breaking slightly uphill. It loses the speed as a result. Back at the par 5, 10th, Hung Yoo-min taking her time here, reaching in 2, now having this short look at a birdie. She will never be flustered by a putt so close. Next up on the par 3, deep in the rough as the miss is right. We'll go to 12 next. The action, fast and furious. This is Eugenia, 76. Landed it deeper than she was searching for. And with less spin, she carries a fairly significant distance away from the pin. Dropped in softly onto the green, then had a chance to hole out. Very good try. Slightly misjudged, wasn't it? Good to have a deep green as a bit of a safety net, but you don't want to rely on it if you don't need to. Back to 11. Lee Dong-eun for birdie from the outermost left fringe, 6.2. And uphill. Needs a good backswing here. Firmly struck. Misses ever so slightly. outside right. So, as a result, feature group is there. Everyone's ready to go. But the green's busy. They're trying to stay light. Camaraderie on this tour, one of the most special things about it. And now putt from the fringe. Grazes the inside, but a bit too heavy. Disappointing one for Bak Ji-young. Quickly resets, knocks down the par. Lee Dong-eun does the very same. You mean after a bit of a delay is on, but decent amount of distance still to traverse. Landing almost immediately beside her partner in the group, but Kim Shi-hyun will get just a touch closer to the pin. Rounding out the group, Hung Yoo-min. Pardon me, Hung Yoo-min, of course, starting first. Getting my order mixed up. Yoo-hyun Jo, of course. And she goes into that welcoming corner. It appears welcoming because so many players are heading in that exact direction. Lee Dong-eun will get us started. The first of 4 par 4s in a row here at 12, downhill in rather dramatic fashion. And Kim Soo-ji, a long putt back towards the middle of this green. She wouldn't have been expecting to improve upon that score after a very long approach. She's left herself with a fair bit still to do. Next with the driver in hand is Bak Ji-young. Clears the rough and sits on top of the hill at the end of the fairway. Get in the hole, the supporters shout. Just a bit short. No movement on that putt at all. It's a bit of a surprising one. I mean, Gina just really didn't have a read on what that would do. With tee shots starting to go a little bit awry, of course, it leaves a little to be desired. That's going to be a head scratcher. Kim Soo-ji isn't necessarily in the right vicinity even. Back to the drawing boards. Kim Ji-hyun stood up early and looked on nervously. It was quick and it was offline. Yu-Hyun Jo tied for second in her par saves this week at nearly 94%. This is a big one here, of course. Once again showing that she is undaunted by the pressure-packed situation. More calm wind. The next approach, this time from Park Ji-young, is a good one. One from which she can go on and attack. Side of a meter, but nothing for the scorecard that time. Nice and close inside the shadow of the flag. That will work just fine. Get on for Lee-Dong-eun. Park So-jin. Second shot at 12, only 57 meters to go. And she goes right at that pin. Well designed and pretty well executed on top of that. Absolutely stunning Saturday afternoon, and speaking of, gotta take the drone up to show you one of the most picturesque teeing grounds on the tour this season. A long way up.
Shot. 나이스. 카메라 누르지 말아주세요.
Kim Ji-hyun with a lot of torque next. Too much power, I think, in that pursuit. Certainly got her distance, but sacrificed some accuracy in the process.
카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
And Joe has found some great success here at 12 so far this week.
샷!
Send this group down to begin their long crawl to the fairway. That started to turn, but the amateur is just a little bit short as the dust settles. There's Park Ji-young at 12. Borderline agony. You can hear the shriek of disappointment. Left located pin today. She went out on the hunt and will be satisfied with that arrival as Kim Soo-ji looks to bounce back from a tough previous hole. One putt for Lee Dong-eun can move her to within one. Shouldn't be overtly challenging. A little downhill, a little left to right. She's nervous for a moment, but she gets it to go. She's been on the march the past couple of holes. She was even for so long, but now is right there in the fight. A little more than a tap in. Of the many national team players competing in the National Open. She has been the cream of the crop, Park Seo-jin. Pin close to the middle of, you can almost call this a clover-shaped green. You can see the hole slightly above the fairway as well. Sung Yamin is the first to go up. She was right on the button, might be selling it a little bit too much. She's on, she's putting. That's always priority number one, but she wanted wanted to split hairs, she could certainly feel as though it's a bit too far off of the flag. Hyunjo, who is just one of 2 players in the top 10 right now who has not been able to get under par and stay there in this 3rd round. Clean look at it with very little wind. Had to be a little long. Yeah, that's wonderful. Spinner at the end to keep it nice and close. Kim Ji-hyun, who has another player right at her heels, just about skipped that in. Hoping to use the flag as a backstop or a bumper. But unfortunately, she goes right at the flag with not enough spin as she was in the rough. Thick grass before the ball. That's where the head of the club meets. As a result, couldn't be as precise as she'd like. But yes, now 3 players, 1 off the pace. Yuji Nam, Park Ji-young rounding out the top 5. 39th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. And welcome back to Rainbow Hills. Hung Yu Min,
야, 그래 힘다.
beginning this run of par fours, comes very close to birdieing and moving into the co-leader position. She will settle for a par.
아니고 저렇게 쭉 가. 근데 힘이 약간 마지막으로.
2 under is a very respectable score. Anything beyond 3 under is a rarity today. Eugenia knows that. She is only at even, and that's not going to last for much longer. After the penalty, getting caught up in the fescue, the tall grass behind the red stake. Well, that was shot 4, so that will be the putt for bogey in just a moment. Kim Shi-hyun looking to build a little bit of pad at 7.2 meters out. Here it comes. Just runs out of speed.
힘이 살짝만 넘어.
She'll stay at even through 12, and that's not to suggest it's been uneventful. Start of the round, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie. Picked up another at 8. Since then, 4 pars in a row. Kim Soo-ji at that 3 under mark. Is that going to go? Yes. Up to a tie for 5th, and 4 under moves her level with Park Young-young for the low rounds of the day. Park Young-young, who has 3 holes left on her back nine. She's playing the south course on the way in. After going 2 over 2 over in the first 2 rounds, has brought herself back to even and up 34 positions. Too much right to left movement. Frustrating one for Yu Hyun Jo, as she has to settle for her 12th par in a row. Streak extends into yesterday as well. We can now say 15 consecutive pars in this tournament. Eugenia minimizes the damage. She will, though, drop to 7th at 5 under, and even for the round. Young at the extreme left side of the 13th fairway, pitching wedge for her on the approach. Mid left, the flag's location today, and that's where she goes. Fair play. So Jean on 13. Uh-oh. I don't know if she'll be able to find that. Down towards the water. She is trying to figure out what went wrong. Dug in on a great little run. Jutar Congrab Fad now from the fringe. down a little bit. Still in the top 10 position though.
오늘은 멀리 가도 되는 편.
네, 알겠습니다. 어서오세요.
자, 앞에 이동 좀 멈춰주세요. 그쪽 방향으로 칩니다. 앞에 이동 좀 멈춰주세요.
Green light for Hung Yumin. Where has that gone? We heard it bounce. I don't know that she has an answer yet either. She certainly hooked it off the face of that driver. Doesn't do much to help us either. It's before the edge of rough near the bridge. She'll hit a provisional, but that could be lost. And now Kim Shi-hyun off to collect her tee as she watches that drive bounce twice in the fairway and settle in the rough. So Jean now chipping after the drop.
저 여기 플레이 하잖아요. 아이씨.
That will be the putt she has left for bogey. Birdie here in the opening round, par yesterday. Yoo Hyun Jo's drive. So ends up out of the fairway in regulation. That makes the featured group 0 for 3. So no provisional taken by Hung Yumin, so she's going to go search for it. And in the worst case, she'll drop it by the bridge and take the penalty. There are the course officials who are by those OB areas with flags to try to be able to communicate up to the tee, but I don't know that anyone was stationed near the bridge. Eventually, this is where the group is headed. Lee Dong-hun putting for birdie. Finesse was there with the weight. Now Conquer Fan trying to avoid a bogey. Good read, great putt. Keeps her tied for 8th. Park Jiang with a well-struck putt that ends up improving her score by 1. It's her third birdie today, and she moves to within 2 of the top spot. Always seems to find a way to bring her best when the majors roll around. Eugene at 14. I don't think she'll have many quarrels with that. It's a good bit of wedge play. As for Park Seo-jin, it is the bogey. She'll be hoping that it's just one drop shot. No, doesn't break. Stays straight and breezes over top of the outside edge. It's a double. Bogey 1, double 13. And she's down to 2 under, outside of the top 10 now, but still comfortably at the low amateur. The next closest is Hong Soo-min, who finished the second round +2. Here on 13. It's a 50-degree wedge for Yu Hyun-jo, 111 meters out, and it will drop 7 meters on the way to the green. Enough speed to carry on top to a level platform. The slightest hump between she and the pin will need a bit of speed to get started. It will accumulate even more as it descends towards the flag. Leader is next, and we'll get even closer to the pin. The approach game has been on point today and throughout the week. Well, Hung Yoo-min is fortunate. Tee shot was found. Certainly fooled our camera operators though, and she'll go closest to the pin after 2. Lee Dong-eun at the blocks on 14. Well, not many can hold a candle to her performance from hole number 3. Resetting after that bogey and picking up 3 strokes to the good since. Skips out of the fairway and stops just into the first cut of rough. And so ends hour 1 of round number 3. It is 4:06 p.m. local time in Umsung-gun. And at the top, very little change. The lead is still 1 stroke for Kim Si-hyun. Our final group is on the 12th green. That is where, or 13th green, pardon me. That's where we'll head when we come back to Rainbow Hills. colorful flora lending itself to the name of this course, Rainbow Hills. And today is certainly doing a pretty good job of filling in some more colors of the rainbow with bright blue skies. Picking up the action with Yoo Hyun Jo at 13, a downhill putt. But the story of the round remains the same, close but not quite there. Suji has been absolutely dialed in today for 4 under. Yes, keeps that flag in and continues to climb. Back to back now. 7 birdies on the day as she enters the final trio of holes. She gets herself into the final group tomorrow. Watch out. Few closers better than she. Big one for Kim Shi-hyun. Extending the lead to 2 with a birdie. Here at number 13, 5 to go to continue to pad the advantage. She is the leader in rookie points, and I think she might just wrap it up if she can hang on for the win after a tied for 2nd performance at the Celtrian Queens Masters last week. So Eugenia's continued struggles with the putter. Now Hung Yumin for 9 under. She tries to will it back left. Park Ji-young's approach on 14. It's a pitching wedge. Reminder of her pin placement today, 11 yards off the front and 5 from the left fringe. Pin high where she lands. Certainly not a tap in, but it is a makeable putt for birdie. Lee Dong-eun, who is the 2nd best greens and regulation player this season, 80.5%, trailing only Amy Jung, and she has played 56 more holes than she has this year. An aerial look at hole 5 of the East Course. You go over at the cascading lake with a waterfall feature. Gotta be brave, pick your spot, you have to go over the water. There is no dodging that. Be clear, a little extra as well. So obviously drastically downhill with these tee shots, and then from there a long climb. than just safe. Past the fairway, trickling into the rough to the left of it. Well, she came into this event leading the rookie race over Jung Ji-oh by 126 points already. Jung Ji-oh, So Ji-eun, Sung Yuna, and Yoon A-rim round out that top 5.
노란 색깔이 그죠?
거기야.
그
세 번째 카트 살짝 오른쪽.
저 카메라 거기가 우리 첫날에 넘어왔을 때 더 우측.
더 우측이었지. 그 오른쪽 동산.
나무.
어.
저 나무 보고 싶네.
인사이트. 왼쪽.
Hyun-jo, our winner last year at the KB Financial Group Star Championship, vaulting her into the consciousness of supporters of this tour. A little bit extra. Rockets that with one of the most aggressive lines you could take. Shaping it well, a little fades. Great spot in there. Here on 14 in the back left corner, it's Lee Dong-eun. This might go, you know, what a putt. Absolutely the best we've seen today for her third of the back nine and fourth of the round. Lee Dong-eun into sole possession of second. Take another look. Goes right to left, up the hill, left to right, and then back again. Absolutely sensational.
하겠습니다. 자, 앞에 멈춰주세요.
Might have been closer, but it wasn't a whole lot less challenging, that putt for Park Ji-young. Unfortunately, it looks as though the rain is behind us for the rest of the week. Obviously, stunning sunny skies today. We'll have a bit of a cloud layer tomorrow. It should clear up into the afternoon. There will be rain in the evening, but barring a playoff, we should be well done before then. Today it's 28 degrees, 65% humidity, wind coming out of the southwest at 1.2 meters per second. Well, Robert Trent Jones Jr. spoiling us here with this 27-hole facility. Loved one of the quotes of inspiration for the design. Dreaming of Korea's Pebble Beach. Someone has to lead the world, so now Korea has to have one of the world's best golf clubs.
짧으면 내려오죠.
97 이상만.
100도 괜찮아요?
100까지는 오케이. 근데 107 라면은 약간 우측나야 돼. 네, 알겠습니다.
All right, after opening up a two-stroke advantage, Kim Shi-hyun. The first approach at 14, 48-degree wedge. I don't know that pitching wedge would have been deep enough to get her under the green. She was in that awkward spot between the two clubs and in the rough. Unable to keep it in the front left, ends up pretty much in the middle. Hung from the center of the fairway next. 52-degree for her. A bit more backspin, but that's negligible if you're off the green, as she is. It's tricky, right? You want that high lob for the spin, but with it being so far to the back, it almost doesn't let you do that with the pin placement today. And more players are tempted to go for a bit more club here. 58-degree for Yoo-hyun Jo. This will be a big spinner. There it is. Nice and close. That's the luxury of having the long drive, as you can go on and attack. Suji showing no signs of slowing down. This is a tricky second shot though, 113 meters to go and a big climb at 18, nearly 19 meters, change in elevation. She gets up onto the green, will stop just before the back fringe. And down it comes back towards the center. Gentle tailwind as well, helping that clear the sand without much worry. .306 meters. This is the shortest of all the par fours that we're playing this week. Duggan will run that up the hill to the border of the rough, end of the fairway. Cleanly struck drive. Park Ji-young has not had success here this week so far. Bogey and par. satisfied with that drive, and there's why. Drills it into the upsloping fairway and is coming to a rest. Back to 14. Anya means third from the rough, trying to get up and down quickly, but she catches it thin. No lob, no speed. She's stuck on the fringe. Very poorly executed shot, and now staring down the barrel of a bogey unless she is able to drain that putt from the fringe. So Jean, amateur, sends it up into the fairway as well, just past Pak Jiang, not quite as far as Yi Dong'en. A solid start. .1 meters for Kim Shi-hyun. She's not known as an electric putter, only 35.2% one putts this year. Kim Soo-ji. We're not expecting anything here, but she is one of the most electrifying putters on the tour. She'll need at least one more. Hung Min has not bogeyed today. Gonna need something magical if that's to be the case. No, it's short. Oh, poor third shot puts her in a really tricky spot. Tap in her fifth and final stroke of the hole. Drops her down to 7 under. .6 for Yoo Hyun-jo to move within 1 and take second all by herself. It could be some break. I don't know that any of us would have expected that much. A bit too far to just tap it in as well. Only 2 top 10s for Kim Soo-ji this year. First event of the season out of the country. Blue Canyon Ladies Championship, she was T4. Tied for 7th at the NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship. She's also missed 2 cuts this year. So very much on pace for her best performance thus far on the calendar. Or like that will go a long way. And to be fair, she doesn't start the year particularly well. She was the runner-up last year, and that's what really got her going. Also finished tied for 7th at the KLPGA Championship, so she brings her best when the pressure is at its highest. Not to mention, she won the Haita Jinro Championship last year. She loves the pressure of a major championship. To close it out at 14. Kim Shi-hyun's par. Pretty remarkable to think that from the blocks to the tee is a 45-meter change in elevation. Pretty good representation of it here. Well above the stance, it makes these second shots tricky. You're really leading with your toes. Understandably so, Park Ji-young was a little long. Park Seo-jin is next. Will clear the rough, but gets stuck on the fringe bordering the tall grass. Right to left break down into a little bowl shape to the left side of the green. While they wait, Lee Dong-eun last to play her second with the pitching wedge, 94 meters to go. Also down to the left side. We'll move her back to the middle. And we'll bring her back down as well. Look at that. Wow. From the putt of the day to the approach of the day in back-to-back holes. Who is going to slow Lee Dong-eun down? Taps that in. She'll be a co-leader. This is just a player who executes perfectly but knows exactly what this green is all about. You're that far left, no problem. Mention the bowl, this is what we mean. Right to the center of it. Absolutely marvelous. Hard to believe she too, a player yet to take her first career victory. Already had a podium this year at the Nexon St. Nine Masters. Couple of missed cuts early in the season. But has made 9 overall. Twice a runner-up last year as well. Lee Dong-eun. Nexon St. Nine Masters, and at the very end, the SK Telecom SK Shieldus Championship. I'll tell you what, the director has quite the sense of humor. These players are absolutely gassed. 50 meters up the hill. Yeah, take a break, especially when it's 28 degrees. This is truly one of the most insane tests in terms of the topography on the entire course. I guess if you're looking for a silver lining, the next hole's downhill, but I don't think that's going to help Park Ji-young too much right now. Kim Shi-hyun was dynamite on the back 9 yesterday. Birdie here both days so far. All right, ball, dig in. Dig in now. Oh boy, this was not a concern yesterday at all with how wet the fairways were. A bit like an X Games half pipe as it rolls back down about 10 meters. And Joe just gets out of the rough. Two will roll down a little bit in the fairway as well. Well, out comes the flag after the shot of the day, one of the best of the week. Lee Dong-un with the tap in. That is her 4th birdie on the back 9 and her 5th since hole number 7. She is very deservedly now a co-leader. Hung Yamin shouts 4. Look out on the cart path. Finally bogeying at the last. Maybe she wasn't quite able to fully hit the reset button on the walk to the next tee. Another example of the hike that this hole is. And hiking to the top. She's at the summit now, Lee Dong-un. Sharing it with Kim Shi-hyun. 4 under. Same with Kim Soo-ji. As we smash the midway mark of this 3rd round at Rainbow Hills. Round 3 of this 39th Korea Women's Open, presented by DB Group. We're down to the final quartet of holes on a sunny Saturday afternoon in Umsang-gun. The Rainbow Hills Country Club playing the south and east courses. Little up and down, Pak So-jin attempting, but it was way too fast to go up and way too fast to come down with a long putt still to go. Just didn't nail her execution. Now, after Jutar, setting up a little bit long. Now, right to left putts. That was a bit quick and a bit misjudged by Park Ji-young. Here's Kim Soo-ji, the third on the par 5. Right side of the green, the pin today. Over the water and centrally located. She just avoids a bogey. That's the mark of a confident player. No Seung-hee. Last year's champion, who has been largely irrelevant in terms of the title chase so far. Saves one of her best shots for late in the round. Park Ji-young was for the par, a little right to left.
이거 보이는 데보다 조금 더 바꿔줘. 그러니까. 네가 세가 보면 딱 서는데, 저기가 좀 있는 게 있어.
Kim Si-hyun and her up. She gets all the way there, clears the fringe. Downhill putt for a birdie next. Bit too much club, but she avoids the worst of it as she settles on the fringe. just seen Lee Dungin do something similar. We can appreciate the effort from Hung Yu-min. Not quite as close, but could be very impactful. Par in round one, birdie here yesterday, Dungan's driver. It's gone right up into the hillside rough. Birdies in each round so far at 16. Pak Ji-young begins. Just right up the fairway. Did not come off well at all. Taps that wedge down in frustration a few times as Yoo Hyun-jo has to make the long walk around the green and into the rough. Take another look at it. Just trying to play a pitch. And caught it off the toe of the club, and you could say goodbye to that one. Joe, now this is the fourth, so she has to get it close. That's the pitch she wanted last time. I don't guarantee that that will be close enough to make the par putt work either. She goes, move back left a little early. Decent try from Kim Soo-ji. Oh, Kim Ji-hyun for 11 under. That'll go. Absolutely adores this 15th. Long-awaited second birdie of the back nine to move to 11 under. No Seung-hee, let's not forget about her just yet. That putt would have brought her into the top 5. Trails by 5 right now as she fails to pick up the birdie. Not sure if this is quite tournament defining, but it's an important putt. Bogey, you can grit your teeth and bear it. Double, just as she shoots, is an absolute punch to the gut. We just saw No Seung-hee. That's where she's gone. Level with her, tied for 6th after 14 holes without a mistake, also without a birdie. She doubles here late in the round. PK Conquer fan, 33-year-old Thai pro, has won 33 events in her career, including one on the Epson Tour and one on the Ladies Asian Golf Tour.
나이스. 나이스 소리.
You mean the great bounce back, great recovery as well. Buck Jiang second on the par 5. Interesting one that is. Didn't feel like she was going to try to reach, but gets herself halfway between the fairway and green. Found. It's a good start. This will have an excellent bit of travel once it found the green. It's a very nice tee shot by No Sung-Yi. All three are on in varying degrees of success. At least one, maybe two birdies from that group coming.
Okay.
One final long hole for the day, half a kilometer plus 514 meters. As Kim Shi-hyun gets us underway. Up into the trees. Some extra hazard pay for our camera operator on the cart path. Hung Yumin really struggling off the tee right now.
어제 갔던 방향 있잖아.
김정구.
어제 갔던 방향이
잠깐 왼쪽 사이사이
이 높은 나무 살짝 오른쪽.
더 왼쪽 가야 약간 요 나온 거 왼쪽 보고 치면
4 shouted as well. She also finds herself off into the trees, and that's going to be a really hard one to find. Understandable dejection.
페어리장을 골 2번 치겠습니다.
나무 위쪽들이 베스트. 나무 위쪽들은 다 괜찮아.
Here's the provisional, but she'll almost certainly need to take this second. That's more like it.
무죄는 무죄는 무죄나. 지금 현주가 치는데?
Avoids the drain cover. Intermediate cut of rough. 2 fine provisionals, and now it's time to go bushwhacking. No such troubles for Lee Dong-eun off the tee. Her approach shot now further down on the 16th. Well, for obvious reasons, a very difficult pin to attack, but her bravery is rewarded. Let's go to 17. Kim Soo-ji in a decent spot off the tee. This for 8 under. There's lots of room to the inside. Wow. Marvelous. Kim Soo-ji with 3 birdies since the 13th, and 8 of them now on the day. 8 under she has gone. That is tied for 3rd, and based on what's happening with Hung Yoo-min's drive, a podium spot might just be hers. On the way to kick off the 5 o'clock hour. Park Ji-young is next from the rough. Floats that up, rides the bottom fringe, and moves back towards the pin. Seung-gi to move into the top. No, Seung-gi, pardon me, to move into the top 5. The golfer's favorite sound.
감사합니다.
됐어. 근데 그걸 따라하고 그래 왜? 강사님이야?
Well, as we get later in the day, things are getting nice and interesting at the top. Kim Soo-ji now tied for 3rd. Lee Dong-eun into 2nd place, and Kim Si-hyun up to 11 under with 3 holes to play for our featured groups. This is the Korea Women's Open, the 39th. It's presented by DB Group. I'll be back after this. Well, it is time to get back to work. Resuming on 16 first, Lee Dong-eun. She's playing a little game of cat and mouse with Kim Shi-hyun. Uphill putt that requires a big backswing, good speed. Just not quite there on the line. Oh, time to go hiking.
이거 핸드거 H?
조심해 조심해 가면 안 돼. 무조건 천천히 가위가 얘기하는 거.
승조야.
아니 사실 조심해. 정말 안 됩니다.
이거 일로 빼지 마.
일로 나갈 거랑 새끼.
A really nice putt, Park Ji-young. Her fourth birdie today goes into a tie for third. Well, this is good news, I think. It's a matter of perspective. Yoo Hyun-jo has found the ball, avoids the penalty. Anything she can do to get back out in the fairway will be welcome. Wow, she will take that with both hands.
이쪽만 좀 공간 좀 비워주세요. 조심. 골안 오면. 원래 안 쳐도 돼. 뚫어놓고 그만. 한대 있어. 아니야. 아깝게 내가 봤을 때는 그냥. 후론도 괜찮아. 어차피 내리막에 들어가는 각도가 낮아져.
8번이다.
하나만.
앞에. 8번.
좀 더 왼쪽 올라와. 그냥 나무를 좀 밀어서.
볼 보세요.
칠 거야? 나이스.
Well, this is something out of a fairy tale as well for Hung Yoo-min. They both avoid a penalty and both get back to the fairway. I feel about as good as an eagle, let's be honest. Well, here's Park Ji-young on the par 3, 17th. Rides right and ends up on the fringe. Camera operator can't find your ball. You know things are a little bit dicey. She's just happy to be out of the woods. Lee Dungan is next 8-iron for her on the tee. Great shot indeed. She gets pin high. And can putt for the share of the lead once more. That is depending on what Kim Shi-hyun does here on 16. She avoided the drama. Her second shot stays in that path as well. Han Yumin, 214, playing towards the mountains. And ends up in the bunker. She went for it. Well, good end for the Thai golfer. As PK birdies at the last to complete her 54th hole, and it's a 70 in sole possession of 8th place with one round to go tomorrow in this Korea Women's Open. Let's take another break. Back on the other side to Rainbow Hills. Well, so far 16 has been drama-free for our leader, and she is continuing to go about her business confidently and very efficiently. And the putt from the fringe, Pang Jiyoung just swoops it a little low. Now Yoo-Hyun Jo, 22 meters from the flag, short of the green, but up with spin. That's really nice. Dongan for yet another birdie, but this time she is slightly offline. Two putt par, one hole to go now. Sit, you can hear the gallery shout. Park Ji-young saves the par. Pretty good on 18. So we head back to 16. Trying to save a par after her early hole misadventures, but alas, too much left to right break, and it will be a bogey. Tied for fifth now after this unfortunate run of 3 holes. Speaking of unfortunate, here's Kim Soo-ji after the drive. Ball is almost flush with her kneecaps. The hillside rough, it's 136 to go. She is 3 off the lead. Much better than it was, but that will be shot 4. Rare miss with the putter by Kim Ji-hyun as well. Now to 18. Next approach over the water. It's decent depth. It's a cruel pin placement in the grand scheme of it, so close to the water. One hole closer to sitting in the leads, heading into the final round. It's getting tight though, and Kim Shi-hyun shouldn't, almost certainly won't. Can't miss that putt. It's a par.
그래서 팬도 있어. 거기 사이사이. 오늘 조금 더 아니면 왼쪽 쪽.
Park Ji-young gesturing right. She's up onto the hill, away from the path. Idung and Stern. She also goes right. The four shouts are getting a bit of a workout. Our second to last group, Idung can find a bit of the humor in it. Par 3, the second to last. It's still 11 under after the par on the par 5. 7 iron, and Kim Shi-hyun doesn't know how to feel about this one just yet. The answer is not great as she heads right. Suji starting back down the hill. It's a very good try. She will absolutely take a 67 and ask no questions. No trouble finding the green. Just a bit deeper than pin high. It's a very good tee shot. Now no Seung-hee. Get there, ball. Get there. Yes! Our defending champ with a big statement finish. 4 birdies in 5 holes. Does anyone really want to go against her heading into Championship Sunday? Resurrecting this tournament after her 71 yesterday. Kim Soo-ji with a good par. She finishes bogey. She finishes at 7 under. That is tied for 5th, but within 4. Anything can happen on Championship Sunday. The last to arrive on the 17th green is Hung Yoo-min. Well, you could hear the oohs, you could hear the ahs. It is a frustrating way to end what has been a frustrating round for the amateur. Lee Dong-eun gets on there. How much more does this have in store? Not much. Finally comes to an end. She'll be looking at a 2-putt par. Being in a bit of a tight spot off the tee, the approach leaves a lot to be desired. As she is off the green, and Park Ji-young will have to deal with some rather thick rough. Hung Yoo-min was always going to be a bit of a hope and a prayer type of putt. Just get it close, anything else is a bonus. Ji-young now, after missing right, heading to the opposite side of the green. The leader has missed. It's a 7.6 meter putt for par. She will go down to 10. This is next up. It's quick. It's way too quick. Get up back towards the middle. Joe has really struggled since, let's call it the misadventures of a few holes ago out into the trees, but this back nine has not come off for her. Double bogey at 15 and really fighting it at 17 as well. She's dropping down towards the bottom end of the top 10. She will relinquish sole possession of the lead. She'll hope it's just the one stroke. Downhill putt for par. It is bogey. It's 10 under with one hole to play. After two, Buck Ji-young 24 meters out from the rough. Speed will be an issue here as she gets level with the hole. Be a putt she must make. If she does, she'll be tied for third heading to tomorrow. Certainly a tough afternoon for Buck Seo-jin. She's +4, and this is her fourth at 18 already. 68 meters to go. Showing glimpses of what she can do when she is operating at her very best. That's what is left for bogey. And just as she vacates the fairway, that will be a green light for our final group as they reach the blocks. Let's take a flashback while we wait for them to get ready. And our flashback will be to 2023. It was everything to play for, but it was also everything to lose as a result. 23 hours from now, the feel will be much more tense. Like, we get the sense, with how tight things have been, nobody's going to be able to run away with this tomorrow. It should come down to the final couple of holes. It might just come down to 18, whether that means playoff or the 72nd hole. Yoo Hyun-jo sacrifices a little bit of distance for accuracy. Takes that wood, sends it on down. It's 380 meters this, but quite downhill. Looks like Han Yoo-min will be doing the same. Now tied for 5th. She goes left past the red stake for OB. I do not envy that lie. Obviously, being as right as possible in the fairway is ideal with the water. That's why we highlight and underline as right as possible in the fairway. She's not the first today. In fact, she's probably not the 15th today to miss to that position up on the hillsides. And now, Lee Dong-eun, co-leader now. 15.4 if she has one last miracle up her sleeve for the day. Go from back to front on the green here, starting right. And never really coming back, but the speed was pretty darn good. This is the bogey effort for Park Seo-jin. Downhill, and it's going to break right. Just stays straight long enough. She tied for 16th, a rough and tumble back nine with a 40. Come out with a 37 on the way out after an early bogey. And she knows that she's got a lot of work to do to get back up towards the top 10. Definitely needs to try to find some birdies, though she should feel confident that she has a very good chance to be the low M. Park Ji-young looking to avoid falling out of the podium places. This will be an uphill putt, maybe a little right to left. Equaling her tournament best from yesterday with another 69 in two. Depending on what happens here with Lee Dong-eun. Washington played really tough yesterday. It's playing really tough again today. By my quick count, only 7 birdies thus far. Lee Dong-eun makes this, and she's guaranteed a spot in the featured and final group tomorrow. Good par. 68, 70, and 68 her tournament so far. Lee Dong-eun with some great shot making, approaches, putts. She is in a great position, and it will likely be the favorite of some odds makers tomorrow. Then there were 3. How in the world will she manage this? She has to go right. The trade is going to be, well, I'm not getting a penalty. much more straightforward for Yu Hyun Jo.
그거 칠게요. 떨어지는 거 아니에요?
떨어지는 것도 괜찮아. 지금 넓게 또.
Eight yards deep, 13 yards from the right. The pin here. It will push down the knoll back towards that front right corner. Maybe just a bit too deep. Very curious to how this shakes out. Is she really going to go for this? Oh, she could. It's got disaster written all over it if you're too bold. And there is such a thing as too bold. 138. You mean the best shots we will have seen from her in years if this works. Or of course the shouts. Yeah, that's the fear. Fortunately, she gets a good bounce off the tree branch. She doesn't know the word fear. Similar to Park Ji-young, as she tries to take the water completely out of the equation, Kim Ji-hyun isn't quite aligned and is short. Here's how it looked from the opposite perspective. Caught the tall grass and made a beeline for the right side. What a difference 24 hours can make. Water like glass on a beautiful spring afternoon. She's still quite the story. For some free relief from the cart path. She hasn't much in the way of wiggle room.
이렇게 위에 올릴까요? 위원님 한번 불러주세요.
맞아?
여기도 갈 수 있고 이거도 갈 수 있고.
일단은 그리고 이렇게 하고 이 반경 이렇게 됐고.
Early pre-skate done by Kim Ji-hyun. Bit of extra time.
그
근데
피하고
여기 기점에서
한번 해보세요. 신발 안 닿게.
네,
오케이.
여기.
거의 기준점이고.
여기도 갈 수 있고 여기도.
그렇죠. 양쪽으로 갈 수 있어. 한 클럽. 이쪽으로 한 클럽, 저쪽으로 한 클럽.
감사합니다.
예, 예. 볼에 가깝지 않게. 그쪽으로 한 클럽, 저쪽으로도 갈 수 있어요.
감사합니다.
예, 예. 그 대신 발이 카트도로에 닿으면 안 돼요. 예, 예. 때. 볼 교체 가능한 거죠? 교체 가능. 발만 조심하세요. 카트도로 안 닿게. 네. 발이 안 닿아야 되거든요. 들어갔을 때 카트도로.
Quick console just to make sure
뭘로 가면 근데
the free relief is done properly.
오케이.
All right, well. An interesting development as everyone else is forced to be very patient, just making sure if she were to perfectly play it and hit that part of the green, it would theoretically roll and behave exactly the way she wants it to. Well, here it goes. Hung Min clears the rough, rolls that through the fringe. All things considered, that's a B minus. Kim Shi-hyun's turn. Needs to be close. Set. Oh boy. Got on the brakes before the damage got too severe, but she's really gonna have to dig deep. One more big shot today. I think she can muster it.
실례하겠습니다.
Yu-hyun Jo, 11.9 for birdie. Just a bit right. right, is this the last shot of the day? No. Downhill, it was quick. All of that hard work Hung Min did today. It's going to end in a very disappointing 72. Long ago that she was towards the top, but bogeys at 14, 60, pardon me, and 18. After being bogey-free all round. Kim Shi-hyun for a par to stay as a co-leader and to be a co-leader entering the final round. Nicely done. 70, the same score she shot on Thursday. Her 66 yesterday, doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But it will be she and Lee Dong-eun. Final group tomorrow along with, and this is a beautiful bit of irony and fate, I suppose. No Seung-hee, the defending champion, who starts only 2 strokes back. Does she have what it takes for a major miracle, or will she be there to single-handedly hand off the trophy? Yu-hyun Jo reaches the end of the day, a 74. It was going so well until it wasn't. Doubles at 15 and 18. She was the leader after 18 holes at 65, but the end of the back 9 was as difficult for her as it was for Hung Min, and it has resulted quite the interesting leaderboard that we will see in a moment. But first, let's quickly go through the highlights of this third round, and we'll start all the way back at hole number 1. The par 5, 531 meters. This was Kim Shi-hyun. She went and made a beeline for the trees. Thinking, okay, she's had all night to think about it, to prep, get ready for this third round. Yet, the start was a little bit rocky. She would bogey. On to 2. Decent approach, not her best, not her worst. Left a lot to try to overcome with the putter, and she did just that, getting back to even. The yo-yo would continue. This was Hung Min before we get back to Kim Shi-hyun on the par 3. Nearly at an ace and a brand new massage chair, but she would just have to settle for birdie, I suppose, instead. Now this was not good. Kim Shi-hyun in the tall grass, the fescue. As she addressed the ball, it moved. That's a stroke. She would end up bogeying that hole, but like a sine wave, up and down and up and down and up and down. It all seemed to level itself out at birdie at 4 to bring her back to even. Next, we want to go to hole number 8. This was Kim Soo-ji, who had already made 4 birdies on the front 9. A marvelous putt to officially hit the turn with a 33 following her par at the next. And from 6.2 meters, Kim Shi-hyun will find her third and final of the front 9. To 10, Lee Dong-eun, this is when she really came alive. The putter was absolutely second to none in the field. Good bird that to go to 7 under. She would not be done, nor would Kim Soo-ji be. This on 14 back-to-back birdies. And then 13. Kim Shi-hyun had made 4 pars in a row. This from long range, though. And that little boost of confidence, which could make such a difference. She would wane in the confidence factor in the final holes. Lee Dong-eun certainly wouldn't after she made this putt. Let the gallery tell you everything you need to know. That would take her within 1 of the top, and then this, well, to say it was less than ideal for Hung Min would be a bit of an understatement. After being bogey-free through 13, she'd shortchange it, get stuck on the fringe, and end up bogeying the hole. No such drama for Lee Dong-eun on 15. Knowing exactly what this green would do, a little bit of a tailwind would stop it centimeters away from an eagle, would tap in for that birdie to go to 10 under. More on 15, and it was caught off the toe of the club face and moved from the fringe to the rough. Ultimately, that would lead to a double bogey, and Yoo Hyun-jo would fall quite the ways down towards the bottom of the top 10. Kim Shi-hyun at 15, her final birdie of the day. And on 17, what should have been a fairly straightforward par 3 for many was anything but, except for Soo-ji, who was the exception to the rule. She and No Soon-yi, only players in the top 10 to birdie that par 3. 16 is next, speaking of, Park Ji-young. Here on the par 5, do a full 360-degree loop of the hole and get up to 8 under. It's where she would finish the round. 18 is where we take you next, of course, the hole we just left. It's getting closer, and would just have the legs to get all the way there. What a finish to the day. No Soon-yi birdies at 14, 15, 17, and 18. She is just 2 back of the leads. One of the reasons why she is just 2 back is Kim Shi-hyun bogeyed the second to last hole, a par 3. Her tee shot was to the wrong side of the green. She gave it a decent crack, but ultimately could not get it to go. Lee Dong-eun, meanwhile, on the 17th as well. As a slight downhill putt. She will be able to make and make it just the 1 bogey on the round all the way back at hole 2. Kim Shi-hyun also for a par save and also par make. 70. The same score she had posted in round number 1. The 66 yesterday. The main reason why she is very much in contention for tomorrow's crown. So quickly through the leaderboard, the top 5, Lee Dong-eun and Kim Shi-hyun sharing the lead. No Soon-yi, last year's champ. Park Ji-young looking for yet another major, tied for 3rd. Kim Soo-ji is 5th after her 68 today. Hung Min shoots a 72 in this round, while Yoo Hyun-jo shoots a 74. PK Konkrafan, the Thai invitee, finishes in the top 8. Chung Yoon-ji 9th after gaining 7 spots with a 2 under 70 on the day. Other notable performances, Chun Woo-ri shoots a 68, Lee Ga-young shoots a 69, and Lee Mi-jung also shoots that 69. Park Soo-jin, the low amateur, +5, unfortunately for her. That takes her down to even. Park Young-kyung with a great round, 3 under, same with EA1, both of them to the close threshold of even, +2 and +1. Hong Jin-young to a 74. Park Ju-young shoots a 78 today. Kang Ga-yeol couldn't quite stay at even par with a 73. Another blow-up, if you will, for Chae Hae-jung, who shoots a 79. Ko Chi-yu, though, who was there or thereabouts yesterday, an 84 in the third round. It certainly was not her best performance of the week, to put it politely. And that's how it looks. 68 players, they made the cut. Pengxin Shiel actually withdrew before the round began, so before we got to the course today, we knew the 67 names that would take to the course. Ultimately, though, it was a day of small gains, which on a setup Saturday is not a bad thing. Lee Dong-eun up 2 positions with her 68. She is a co-leader with Kim Si-hyun. They will be in the final group tomorrow with, we expect, No Seung-hee, but Park Ji-young also tied for third at 8 under. Time to sign off from sunny Rainbow Hills Country Club. We thank you for joining us and hope you've enjoyed the coverage throughout the week. Tomorrow is the big day where the second major champion of the season will be crowned, and maybe, just maybe, No Seung-hee will be able to successfully defend her title. So tomorrow, assuming the weather stays the way it's supposed to be, we will make our adjustment and we'll expect to be on the air at 2 p.m. local time here in Umsong-gun. The 39th Korea Women's Open. It will be decided tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Saturdays, everyone, and we look forward to welcoming you back to the KLPGA Tour real soon.